Full disclaimer, she's rough around the edges, but she means well. Enjoy.
Hello, welcome to Key's Word to Life, where we spread love, light, and wisdom. I'm Key, and today's episode is about a question. What does being feminine mean to you? I wanted to make an episode about this question because I had a conversation with a friend who kind of reminds me a lot of myself. She grew up in a real carefree environment, and she never really cared of like the aesthetics of what it is to be feminine. And she came to me one day and she opened up to me and she let me know that how she described femininity was like, oh, well, Key, I don't really care. It's like, I'm so carefree. I'm a tomboy. I'm a sportsy girl. And I really related to that. And I thought to myself, I think a lot of women equate femininity with the aesthetics of being feminine, right? The hair, the nails, the makeup, the dresses, the heels. And then I got to thinking, I was like, well, men are putting that shit on now, so we can't just say that it's a fluke to say that femininity lies within the aesthetics of what it looks like to be feminine. I think that true femininity is something that you embody. It's not something you can put on and put off. It's not a form of dress up. It's something that it's either in you, because it's certainly not on you. And if you're portraying that it's on you, that's because it's not in you. So I've got a couple key points myself of what helped me really live and operate in my feminine. I think that I struggled early on in my formative years and stuff because I kind of was like a tomboy and I catered to more of that. And when you're a little girl and you cater to more of that side to you, you don't have the balance of what it is to move like a feminine woman because you've created this real comfortable spot for yourself as far as like being in a tomboy stage or really operating in your masculine because it's what feels most comfortable. And that was definitely me. And I know that's other females out there, especially based off the conversation that I had with my friend, that she thought she was less feminine just because she didn't cater to the aesthetics of what it was to be feminine. We need to really name and call out what it means to be feminine because it's not just the clothes and shit you put on. These are just some things that really helped me operating my feminine. It's all a practice. I still am practicing it just because of my environment and how I was raised. But the number one thing for me was communication. As a woman, it's so important for you to articulate and communicate your feelings in real time because you're feeling those feelings in real time. And I think for some women, it's easier for you to just behave in a manner of how your feelings are making you feel, right? Your feelings are indicators of what's really going on. And you really have to get to know yourself and understand what hurts you and what helps you. And you have to really get to know yourself in order to be able to communicate your feelings. Because those women out there that are closed off and shut down easily when it's come time to open up and be vulnerable, they're operating in their masculine. They're thinking that it's better to keep things to themselves and keep a mask on like everything's okay, when in reality, you don't have to act like that. You should be able to communicate your feelings with your friends, your family, your man, your girl, whoever you're with. Just know that it matters more when you stop being so passive about how you feel. Those women that'll say, oh, I'm fine, everything's good, but you ain't acting like that. That's not how you acting. You acting like something's wrong. So you need to get out there and open up. Let your heart be open to yourself because that's what it's about. It's about communicating for yourself so you could feel better and have that outlet. And that really helped me become more feminine because now I'm able to know what's wrong with me and communicate that with somebody, especially if they're part of the reason of why I feel that way. I don't hold on to shit anymore. I don't think that keeps me in my feminine just trying to suppress things. I need to be able to open up and have some type of communication conversation that involves my feelings sometimes. And that also means I need to be able to keep people around me that are receptive to my communication when it comes to my feelings. So sometimes as a woman, you're operating in your masculine because of who you put yourself around and who keeps you there. Okay? Ooh, the next one is one of my favorite. Well, all of these is a lot of my favorites because this is one of my favorite topics. But the next one is free-flowing energy. Free-flowing to me is like the opposite of uptight, right? If you operating in your masculine as a woman, you're uptight. those are the women that we say, oh, she's a bitch. And it's not to really be disrespectful. It's just you're so uptight. You're so, soon as milk spills on the floor, you're ready to snap the fuck off and go crazy, when in reality, you could just clean it up and go on about your day with grace. Free-flowing energy is a practice. If you're a person like me who grew up uptight, and I would get overwhelmed and anxious over so many things that didn't go my way the first time. I didn't know how to just let shit roll off my shoulder and go over my head. I had to obsess about it and become so fixated on what went wrong. But once I started to just really step into my divine feminine and be more playful, be more like, oh, well, it's okay. It was a practice. I definitely recommend stepping into an environment where you can be free flowing, even if you have a man, right? If you allow your man to lead and he's in charge, if something that your man had in order didn't go as planned, don't nag the hell out of him and let him know what a fuck up he is. It's better for you to comfort him and let him know, oh, it's okay. We're still going to have a good time. Things are still going to go the way they're supposed to go. That's free flowing energy, knowing that timing is divine just as you are. And you don't have to be so uptight about everything. Things don't go as planned, and that's okay. To be so uptight about shit and shit's got to be to the T and right on the nose, that's going to keep you stressed. And I don't think women are able to thrive as best as they can when they're stressed. Hell, we already got about all these hormones in our body, and you sitting up here stressing over spilled milk. Give yourself a break. Learn how to adopt a free-flowing energy and be around people who aren't so too nitpicky about shit. You know what I'm saying? Because really none of this shit matters. None of this shit matters. We all going, you know what I'm saying? After all this shit perishes, nothing's gonna really fucking matter. So it's best to not let things stress you now, or try your bestest. I think that's definitely something that really helped me to become more free-flowing, because I used to just be so anxious about things, and naturally I'm a planner. So when things don't go as planned, I'm ready to fight. So, I just breathe. I know that, I don't have to have a plan B or C. I could just go with whatever the day brings me and whatever the experience brings me. Moving with grace. Moving with grace has more to do with like your character and your demeanor, the way you talk, the way you speak to people, the way you react to certain people treating you a certain type of way that might be negative. Because the other form of being graceful is a person who holds a grudge. So now you're coming in here with passive aggressive attitude a lot of times because something bothered you, instead of just having grace with the situation. I also want to interpret grace as forgiveness. I work in property management. A lot of my tenants will come in highly upset about something, quite hostile and belligerent. I'm not going to meet you where you are. I'm going to bring you down to the grace that I have for you. I'm going to, speak to you in a very, very monotone, neutral tone. I won't necessarily say it's so soft, because naturally I'm an assertive person and I'm real kind of straightforward. And the business I work in, it demands a lot of logic, a lot of awareness and situational awareness. And I don't really focus on too much of my emotions. I don't let people bring me out of the state of being neutral, because I'm here to do a job. I'm here to service you for sure. But a job must be done. You have a complaint and I'm going to address it, but I'm going to do it with grace. I'm going to do it with, a certain type of tone and a certain type of attitude to let you know, hey, I know you're upset. And really, I think the way I move with grace comes a lot from empathy, because I know what it's like for you to, I validate how you feel right now. I know what it's like to feel how you're feeling right now in this upset state. So I get it. You're in the height of your emotions and you're unable to bring it down. That's fine. But I'm going to move with grace so you can come down to where I'm at and we could both be on some neutral shit. Because I'm not coming up to where your emotions are with the rah-rah. I'm not doing it with nobody. Not a tenant, not a friend, not a family member. If I feel like you're on that type of time, I'll excuse myself. Okay. And I think that's another part of femininity, knowing when to excuse yourself, because we can really get riled up in our emotions. So we could go there if anybody want to go there. But I'd rather not. Keeps me in my feminine state when I can just move with neutral and logical understanding sometimes, honestly. I like to sit with my feelings and be in my feelings and understand my feelings and validate my feelings myself. But when it comes to like my job and my business, professional life, I ain't worried about it. You came in upset about something that you came in upset about. And that could be in all aspects, not even just work. Some people, you're just upset. And I'm not going to take it to heart and have it to be a reflection of me for how you act, because that's a reflection of you and what you're going through. So I choose to move with grace. in any aspect of my life, with my parents, with my siblings for sure, with my tenants and my property, with my coworkers. I'm moving with grace. We're not gonna hoop, we're not gonna holler, and I'm not gonna criticize the hell out of you for something that I could have made a mistake with too. I'm just gonna grant you grace and forgiveness just like the Lord does me. Amen. Ooh, this one just hit home. I used to be so hyper independent. We could talk about this for just a little second. I used to be so hyper independent. Like, I used to be heavy. And because of the environment I came in where I didn't really feel like I was receiving a lot of help with regulating my emotions or like financial stuff or like homework or, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just was really independent and self-sufficient in a lot of stuff because I was left to be. So I used to just be headstrong on, oh, I don't need help. I don't want help. I don't need you to do it. I can do it by myself. And honestly, I'm gonna give a little shout out. No, I'm playing. Well, I really am though. But honestly, it was a teacher that I had. It was this teacher. Her name was Dr. Foltz, and she was the first. She was like, I think I had her my senior year, and she was the first person in my life I really listened to, and I took heed to what she said when she was like, you know, you're not gonna be able to do everything by yourself your whole life, Kiana. And it's kind of because she had really, naturally I'm stubborn. And she had really like put the mirror in front of my face and let me know how stubborn I was and how I wasn't going to be able to be that my whole life. And if I chose that, I would go down a path of struggle. She was the first person to open up. And ever since then, right, I'm 25 now. That was when I was like 17. Ever since then, I've progressed in the practice of asking for help. The Lord says you have not because you ask not. And I'm a firm believer in that in every aspect. Whatever I need that I can't necessarily get myself, I will ask for help. I do like to be independent. It does make me pat myself on the back, and I love that. But I don't want it to be hyper independent. I don't want to think that I don't need anybody for anything. And the way that I've put myself into practice for my femininity was to be around people that I can receive from. Because of naturally I'm a giver. I love to give. I love to give just to do it, just to help make things easier for people. I need to surround myself with people who do the same for me. I met this guy who's like a father figure to me and really has become that for me as far as lessons and everything. You know, I let him come into my life, and ever since, he's really brought on this receiving. He's really helped me get a receiving energy, and just be okay to receive. He helped me feel deserving to receive. A lot of times when I was receiving things from people sometimes coming up, it was because I had to give something or because I had already gave something. But with him, I didn't give him anything. Really, I didn't. And he took me under his wing, and he's more like a mentor to me than anything. And he just is so gentle with me, and he is very respectful of me and my feelings. He's emotionally intelligent. He's a God-fearing man. He definitely, like, I love him to death just because of how he's helped me become more receiving. I challenge women to put yourself around men who will put you in a receiving error, right? You have control over that. So if you're around people who you got to give and give and give, step back just a little bit, okay? I know you want to give to those people. Maybe you're mandated and obligated to give to those people. Maybe it's your kids, family, whatever. But don't forget to surround yourself with people who could give just as much as you. That'll help keep you in your femininity, being able to receive, being able to let a man do something that is easier for him than it is for you. Baby, let me tell you something. In my property, when they come and they drop off them heavy boxes full of my supplies or whatever it is, copy paper, you better believe I'm asking the first man I seen, one of my maintenance man, my manager, whoever. I'm asking, hey, could you help me? Oh, this is so heavy. Oh, can you help me, please? I mean, I'm not a damsel in distress, but baby, I'm damn sure asking for help in any way, form, or fashion. Just get into a practice of it. You ain't got to ask nobody for no money and pay your bills and whoop the whoop. None of that. Start small, especially when you are somebody who used to be hyper independent. It's going to be, you know, like I said, I've been practicing this since I was 17, and I still struggle with asking for people for help. I've gotten way better, and I love myself for it. But it still is a practice, especially when you're in your mid-20s and you're unlearning and learning so many different things. I just want the women out there that are giving and giving and giving to be able to be around somebody who helps you receive as well, because you got to put yourself around those people. You know, maybe God will send them to you. I prayed for God to put me in that era of receiving. I said, God, I don't want to be so stuck on, oh, I could do it myself, all by myself. No, like I want to be around. I want to have that energy that is okay with receiving, because you know those women out there with those attitudes of, oh, I can do it myself, I can do it myself. Let me tell you something, girls, that's ugly. If you don't get out there and let somebody fucking help you, it's okay. Let them help you. Don't you help everybody? Okay, then. The fuck, sometimes I look at it and I'm like, shit, okay, she don't want the help? Sir, I'd like the help. Please come and help me. I have no shame, and I think that that's what it's about. It's about women, when they receive the help, they're either scared that somebody's going to dangle it over their head as a way to get something from them, because that has happened to myself, and I'm sure almost every woman. Or you're ashamed that you need the help, and you feel more confident if you got no help and did it all yourself. Then you could just pat your own self on the back. You don't gotta give credit to anybody else. But I don't mind. I love to provide service for people, and I want the same energy. I'll put myself around people who give the same energy. Provide services for me too, whatever it is. Whatever it is, whatever the help could be. Make sure you get you some help, though. Don't just be out here giving and giving and giving. Aren't you tired? I'm tired for you. Unity. Unity is my favorite. I think unity is what keeps me in my feminine space. My job helps me keep me in my feminine space. Like I said, I work in property management, which comes with a lot of administration and mediation. A lot of times I have to come in between two people to help them articulate the misunderstanding that might have went along. And I need to mediate the situation and keep it in unity, because we're a community. Hello, unity and community. Think about back in the day, or in those movies, or even just in your time in your family, when you got people be like, oh, our granny's the glue. Granny is the glue of the family. And that's true. My granny's definitely the glue of the family. She don't want nobody fight. Bet no cousins come around fighting. Bet no siblings come around fighting. She don't want to see none of that. She don't want to hear nobody talking ugly or being hateful towards each other. She really wants love within the family. And that takes unity. And the opposite of unity is instigating, right? Those females that are out there bored as shit of their fucking lives because they have nothing going on for themselves, they're instigating shit. They want to be in the drama. They want to be in the chaos. And they want their life to be filled with that, because they don't know what it's like to have unity and people stick together. I'm a firm believer in 2 brains are better than 1, right? And because of that, I like when I advocate for people to stick together, because a lot of times when we beefing and we bumping heads, a lot of times that's a misunderstanding. Somebody misunderstood something, and that's what it's about. It's really not even a problem for real, but you made it a problem. People make it a problem because they don't know how to communicate, and women, I'll talk about women. Women make it a problem because they don't know how to communicate, because they feel shamed to get out there and be vulnerable and real enough to be like, man, that shit bothered me. What you said bothered me. I took it a certain way. Did you mean it this way? And that goes all the way back to communication. And some people struggle with it. Grown ass people struggle with it. Men, women, it is not a double standard. People struggle with communication. People struggle with receiving communication and giving it. And I think that that's the best part of unity. When you want to stay united with somebody, you use your word, you use your tone with compassion. When we say things, when you say something and when you're saying the truth, are you saying it to really be real with somebody and bring them to awareness, bring them to betterment? Or are you saying it to tear them down and be funny? You trying to be funny, or are you trying to help people out? Is the question, to be real. And with that, you have to really be aware of how you say things and what you say. It's a practice for real. I used to not give a shit about how I say things. I used to just say them until I realized time and place is important. And when you work in a corporate world, when you work in a business world, you realize time and place is important. You can't just fly off the mouth with certain things at a certain time, or jokes can't be made at a certain time. Unity definitely has kept me in my feminine. I want to keep people together, not tear people apart. I love when families are together, especially Black families, because we don't see that often enough. Just siblings coming in. I hate sibling rivalry. I hate being out of tune with my cousins. Like, I want to be united because we're all that we really have. We got God, and then we got each other to help us each other out. As women, it's so important to work on pushing for unity in whatever aspect, whatever relationship you have. Try to keep it together if it's really worth something. If you got to think twice before you leave a relationship or a situation, that means it might be worth something, and you need to learn how to unite. You need to learn how to get on one page and communicate and be in unity, and that'll keep you in your feminine. I'm trying to tell you all of these things, William. I'm trying to help y'all out, because I was not what I am today, but I am what I am today now. So teachers, I put teaching on here because to keep me in I like to teach. I'm not necessarily, the thing is, majority in my school years, majority of my teachers were females. So with that being said, I think teaching is a feminine thing. I think naturally women want to teach people. Now, maybe not all women, because I naturally just think that's a me thing. I love to be informative and to bring people to awareness and really help people understand things and learn something new every day. And everybody should be around somebody who can teach them something. You know, I'm sure your mama taught you something, your granny taught you something. And it's going to be different because my dad taught me so many things, but it's different than what my female figures in my life taught me. Very much different. And, you know, to the men, I suggest y'all get around a female who could teach y'all something. Who likes to teach and wants to help you elevate just as much as you would want to help her. You ain't around a woman who can teach you, and all she could teach you and all she know is baddie shot a clock. Get her the fuck out of here. Point her to the door. That's all I got to say. I don't mean no disrespect. But what? She ain't teaching you nothing? You ain't learned nothing in that whole relationship but her. But the fact that she has a makeup routine and a skincare routine and she just go to work, come home, she don't like, it's nothing that she's wanting to be like, babe, guess what? Guess what I learned today? Guess what I want to show you? But all she got is baddie shot o'clock and teaching you tricks in the bed. That's what you want? Honey, if that's what you want, I ain't here to judge nobody, but just know that that's what you want. We're being observant here and we're observing that that's what you want. Okay, honey, we digress. This one's a big one for me. Submission. Naturally, a woman is supposed to be submissive, and men naturally are more assertive. But I do not believe in the whole charade of, it'll take a man to come over here and make me submissive. No. I'm a firm believer in already embodying things. So therefore, if somebody decides to leave my life, they didn't leave with the shit that they thought they brought to me. You feel me? I embody submission. I am a submissive woman, and I say that proudly because I know the people to submit to, because I believe that ultimately I will submit to my man in ways that I would submit to nobody else, right? My husband. But I also, like the father figure I just got done talking about, I submit to him in a way. I listen to him, and that's what it's about. Submission is a lot about listening to him and trusting in who you're listening to. That's what it's about. It's about having the discernment on who to submit to. I submit to one of my father figures or like even male figures in my church or my peership, like my friends, my male friends, because I believe I'm surrounded by men who have a vision, who have a goal, who have purpose, and they know that, and they're following through that on intention. And they may not be perfect, but I'm taking heed to what they say, and I'm submitting to what they might give to me in advice or anything because I believe in them. And it's not because it's not I just believe in him. It's not like the rainbows and the yellow brick roads. It's literally them being men of God, and I could see that they're on a purpose and they're on focus, and that when they speak to me and the way they handle me does help me to submit more to them. But I embody that. I don't surround myself with men who don't respect me in a way where I feel like I ain't even trying to hear you. It's kind of like Jill Scott, when she was on The Breakfast Club, and she was like, if you could tell me what to do, you could tell me what to do. But if you can't tell me what to do, you can't tell me what to do. And I felt that wholeheartedly, because first of all, I know that I respect these men that I listen to, because I don't even know if I just like to listen like that. I like to make the rules, and I like to be in charge. And anybody who knows me knows that I like to be the boss. I do. But, well, really, I like to be second in command. I don't mind there being somebody above me and then I'm second in command, though. But I got to be second. I can't be down there. I got to be right under you and next to the boss. I like that. But yes, I don't even surround myself around men or anybody that I can't necessarily submit to and be like, oh, you're right. I don't want to be around anybody who I can't be like, you're right. If I'm right all the time, it's not good for me. I don't grow. I need somebody else to be right and somebody else to call me out on my shit, and I can take heed to it. And I need it to feel discomfort. I need it to feel uncomfortable. And I need that to feel uncomfortable sometimes. And I do. I tell my male figures all the time, ooh, I didn't want to hear that shit. But thank you for telling me that. I really needed that. I didn't want to hear it, but I needed that. I needed it to open up my mind and give me different perspective. And that is why I choose to embody submission instead of saying, oh, well, a man's going to have to come in my life and treat me right before I can submit. Nah, because even men have to not necessarily be submissive, but there's somebody that men have that they have to submit to, whether it be their wives, right? Where they have to kind of go to their wives and talk to their wives about certain things before they make moves, or a boss that they have, you know, in a career. If you have a boss and your boss is saying something, whether you like it or not, that's you being, you know, submissive to what he says instead of going against the grain. Because it's kind of like the opposite of being submission is going against the grain. If every time your man says something or try to take charge and lead and you go against that grain, you need to work on submission because you have to embody that. You know, women will say, oh, it takes a man to make me submissive. And then they'll get a man that actually has the intention to lead and really help her elevate, but you don't want to listen. You don't think that you don't trust him enough because you don't trust yourself enough to pick the right person. That's what that's about. And speaking of trusting yourself enough, we're just going to dive into the next topic right on here, baby. Nurturing. Nurturing is a cliche as well. I ain't even gonna lie, because I think naturally women are nurturers. Naturally women want to bring things back to life and help things back to life. I genuinely believe that. But some women lack that because they don't know how to nurture themselves. I can't imagine what it's like to be a woman, you know, because I'm single, no kids. I can't imagine what it's like to be a woman with a lot of kids or or you know, a family. And really the first thing you do when you wake up is take care of them. You don't even look out for yourself yet. So therefore your cup starts empty as shit, and then you're just pouring out debt. You're pouring out dust from the cup. There's nothing there that you've given yourself. So you're giving half-ass and mediocre services to people you say you love when really you want to love them wholeheartedly, but you can't. You never nurtured yourself. You never nurtured yourself through the grievance of the childhood that you might have lacked. You never nurtured yourself through the traumas you've been through, the fucked up relationships you've been through. You never sat with yourself and hugged yourself and been like, it's going to be okay. I can bring myself back to life on this. You're so, you know, women get so caught up in nurturing everybody else, want to nurture their kids or want to nurture their man. 100% you should. Just don't forget to nurture yourself. Don't forget to do that. Don't forget to be there for yourself and love yourself enough to make sure that your cup is at least halfway full before you get to pouring out that bitch. That's all I'm saying. But yes, this has been great. This has been one of my favorite topics. I really have struggled with femininity over the years. I really used to operate in my masculine and not even know. Like, didn't even know it was a thing. Didn't even know it was a problem for me or hindering me from my greatness or for my character that I could really have. But now that I'm operating and living more in my feminine, life is so much better. Like, shit does not get to me like it used to. I'm able to just be free flowing and wing it a lot of the times and be okay with that. Being okay that whatever happens, it's okay because it'll all work out for me. I affirm that to myself. You know, my word of affirmation every day is that everything's going to work out for me. I will be okay. I will step into a even more healing era. I speak greatness over my life. And I, think that's just another part of femininity. You should speak greatness over your life and over everybody else's life because your words are powerful. Thank you for tuning in to Key's Word to Life, where we spread love, light, and wisdom. Y'all stay beautiful. Bye.